Hello everyone, Assalamu alaikum. I am Manahil Wali. I am a student of Rehan School Kharengi campus and I am joining you from the vibrant city of Karachi, Pakistan. Today we have the privilege of hosting a truly remarkable individual, someone whose life's work is dedicated to unlocking the potential within each of us, guiding us to connect deeply with our intuition and consciously create the life and aspire to life. Please join me in warmly welcoming our esteemed guest, Mr. Stott, an intuition coach, mentor, and a beacon of wisdom of many around the globe. So, Mr. Stott, it's an honor to have you with us. Let's dive into your inspiring journey and explore the found insights you will gather along the way. So, welcome, sir. How are you?
I'm very well. Thank you so much for doing this. This is a privilege.
It's my pleasure. So, before moving on questions, can you please introduce yourself for my viewers?
I think you've beautifully introduced me anyway. So yes, I'm Stuart Kerslake, based in the UK. Um, I would describe myself as a life coach for business owners. So my clients are all entrepreneurs and business people, but where I really help them is in connecting to, I call it the inner stuff. So that real clarity on the vision, what they would love to achieve and create, not just in their business, but in the whole of their lives, because the business, can then serve what they want to create in their lives. And then also what they may do to sabotage that, the thoughts, feelings, beliefs, assumptions, which are not necessarily true, but that we believe that they're true, and they have an impact on us. So, and then once we're clear on that, it's a lot easier to create the business we would really love to create, and to make the difference in the world, the impact in the world we'd love to create. And my particular passion is for Sustainable Development Goal 14, life below water, and I love helping businesses that have a focus around water and around the creatures that live in the water and around the water.
That's really wonderful introduction and your interest about the SDG goal number 14. That's really wonderful. Thank you so much, sir, for your introduction. Very wonderful introduction. Thank you so much. So
Oh,
now
thank
let's move
you.
on. Thank you. So now let's move on to questions. My first question is on your screen. What inspired you to become an intuition coach? And how has Carl Jung's quote influenced your approach to coaching?
Oh, fantastic. Well, you must have seen that quote on my Facebook page and maybe elsewhere. Um, so my journey to becoming an intuition coach has taken quite a while. I was an accountant for 30 years, working in kind of medium-sized businesses in the UK, and at different levels, until I became the chief finance officer for some organizations. And it never really felt right for me. Just somehow wasn't quite right. And then I started working for myself, and I made what for me was the mistake of starting an accountancy practice. I'm not very good at accounts. I'm great with strategy. I'm great with helping people define what they want to do, and creating some goals around that. But actually, tax returns and things like that are not really me. So I very quickly stopped doing that, and then started working as a CFO for very small businesses, like maybe 2 days a month, or 10 hours a month for smaller organizations, bringing in my commercial skills and bringing in my financial and management skills. And then from there, I became a business coach. I guess I would call myself, very much focused on the business aspects, the practical aspects of it. But the more I work with my clients, the more I realize that actually they get their best work when they're aligned with their true values. And it's all the inner stuff that I mentioned earlier in my introduction that has the greatest impact on how effective people's businesses are. And so I then started becoming more of a mindset coach. I help people look at their beliefs, the things that they believe that are not necessarily helpful. And along the way, I ran into an organization called Natural Success. And Natural Success is a coaching modality by a fabulous guy called William Whitecloud. And I ended up doing the trainings for myself, and I enjoyed them so much and saw the value in them that I then trained as a coach, coaching other people in this. So I believe that everyone is intuitive and they can connect with their intuition. And by that I mean that if we come out of our heads and just give ourselves space, we can receive insights, we can receive wisdom, and we don't know where it comes from, and it doesn't matter. Sometimes we might feel it in our heart, sometimes we might feel it in our gut. But we just know that this is good for us and it will serve us, and that's kind of what I mean by intuition. And the Carl Jung quote is the bit I was talking about earlier. It's like what he says in that quote is, until you make the unconscious conscious, by which he means until you're aware of what's going on that you're not aware of, that this your thoughts and your feelings and things that they just happen, they become the default, and you don't know, you don't always know what you're doing and why you're doing it. And he says that until you're aware of them, until you make them visible, they are still there. They're running your life, and you're calling it fate. It's like fate has told me I'm not good enough, and so everything I do proves that I'm not good enough, or I'm not worthy, and so everything I do proves that I'm unlovable and not worthy. And we can bring this to our awareness to make it conscious, and then we have a choice. We can choose to believe it still, and many times I still believe it, and so do my clients, but we have a choice. And what we can then do is we can focus on the things that we would love to create in our business and in our lives. So I know that's quite a lot there, and it's quite intellectual, but that's what I mean by that question. That's what it means. Until you really know what's going on, almost like if you imagine the ocean, with an iceberg. You know what I mean by an iceberg in it? Until you can see what's going on underneath the water, you don't know the dangers that are in that iceberg, because icebergs, only about a third of it is above the water. Everything else is underneath, and you can crash your boat into it and so on. That's kind of what we mean. It's looking down at what's below the water that's going on and is not helping you in your business. And then you bring it to the light so that you see it and you go, I do this thing because I don't believe I have any power. Everybody else in the world has the power. I have no power. Or, I do this thing because I have to control my environment, because it's not safe for me if I don't control my environment. Those are examples. Mm-hmm.
All right. Thank you so much, sir, for sharing your examples. Very wonderful. Thank you so much, sir, for your answer. Thank you so much for giving us very wonderful answer. Now let's move on to the next question. My next question is for you. Can you explain the concept of making the unconscious conscious and its important in personal development?
Well, I think that's the one that I've been answering just now to an extent. If we can't see what we do that's unhelpful, so as I say, let's take an example that someone believes that they're not good enough. They will often, how that will play out is that they will do lots and lots of activity. They'll be trying to demonstrate how good they are. and they can burn themselves out, and they can be very driven and, very image conscious, beautifully dressed and all the rest of it, because they want people to think that they are successful. But all the time, what's going on is they believe that they are not good enough, and they never will be, so they'll keep doing more and more and more, and then they burn themselves out. So that's what I mean by making, so when someone sees that, are they going to stop being driven? Probably not, but at least they can say, do you know what? I'm coming from here. I'm not coming from my heart. I'm not coming from what I would love. I'm not coming from intuition. I'm coming from these beliefs about not being good enough. And then they have a choice. They can choose whether to stay in that space and believe these untruths, or they can choose to say, well, okay, this is going on, and I want to go over there and do this other thing instead.
Thank you so much, sir, for your invaluable answer. Now let's move on to next question. My next question is for you. How do you help your clients connect with their innate intuition, and what are the some common challenges they face in this process?
Beautiful, thank you. And I think, as I said before, I believe everyone is intuitive, and we all connect in different ways, and we all connect in different ways at different times. It's not always the same. It's not always the same. So often what I do with people as a starting point is I get them to close their eyes, take a few breaths. It's amazing, if you take a few breaths, how you come back into your body. So you come out of your head and all the thoughts and the feelings that are going on in there, and you come into your body and you become present in this moment. So you're not thinking about the past and all the challenges of the past, and you're not thinking about what might happen in the future. You're just here in this moment. And just you might want to try it. Just a few deep breaths of just in them, in through the nose, out through the mouth, and it brings you back to now.
All right, thank you so much, sir, for your fantastic answer. My next question is for you. In your experience, what are the some of the most common? Oh, sorry. I think no, no,
Yes.
no. In your experience, what are some of the most common unconscious beliefs that prevent people from achieving their desired life, and how do you address this in your coaching?
Thank you. Great question. In the work that I do in the natural success model, there are 12 main ones, and there are, everyone's version of that is very personal and very individual. So those 12 is I'm not worthy, which often means I'm not lovable, I'm not good enough, I don't belong, I have to control myself and my environment, I don't trust people, I'm unsafe, I don't have the capacity, I don't have enough time, money, intelligence, whatever, I don't have the capacity. There's a right way that things have to be. They have to be a certain way. There is a way, but I don't know what it is. All these other people know what it is, so I'm missing the idea. And then there's the I'm powerless. Everyone else has all the power. And I'm not capable. In fact, I'm not allowed to be capable is often what happens. Some other force is controlling my capability. And then the last one is I need to be perfect, and so does the world and everyone around me. So there's a lot there, but everyone's particular version of that is different and unique. I have a lot of the, it may be because I'm, a man and blessed to be, in the West and all the rest of it. I have a power belief, But actually, I believe that I'm powerless. I don't believe that I have power, even though I'm blessed with, in inverted commas, blessed with this. And I give you a really good example of the powerless belief. It's like Donald Trump, the ex-president of America. He has to throw his weight around and pretend to be so powerful and so wonderful because underneath he believes that he's powerless. And so, in the coaching, I help people become clear on these things. And then, as I say, they have a choice. Do I believe I'm powerful all the time? No, but at least I have a choice to remember that I can be powerful and I can create what I wish to create.
Yeah, you are right. In short answer, you give us very valuable advice. Thank you so much, sir, for your answer.
Yeah.
My next question is for you. The importance of clarity and awareness in one's personal and professional life. Could you share a success story where these elements significantly impacted one of your clients?
Mm. So the clarity, I think, as I said to you before, there's these two parts to it. One is being clear about what it is you would love to be, do, and have in your life, and then how your business fits that. And the other end is what we've been talking about, these beliefs and the unconscious stuff, and they're kind of pulling against each other. And so an example of that would be that I was working with a guy who at the time was quite young. He was probably in his early 20s, and he had started a career in accountancy, and he was wondering whether it was for him. So I helped him get clarity around what it is that he wanted to do, and particularly around what he wanted to do for his career. And what he wanted to do was he wanted to be a kind of almost like a consultant within the accountancy practice, to be helping other people get their strategy organized, and to helping them to get clarity in their businesses. And he felt that he was too young to do that. Where's all the life experience that I need to have in order to be able to teach people about these things? And we managed to reframe that for him so that he could focus on that. And based on that, he went to his manager and said, I would love to do this in this business. And his manager was enlightened enough to say, yes, okay, let's try it. And then within about 6 months, he created a whole team of people doing this work in this accountancy practice. And the accountancy practice had grown as a result of this work he was doing. And he now works as a consultant, making a lot of money, teaching people all the things that he learned while he was doing this. He's still only 32 or something. So that one bit of getting clear on what it is that he really would love to do in his business, in his work. And then, but the important thing is, it's then doing it, is then choosing to do it. He was brave enough to go to his manager and say, this is what I would love to do. Please, will you give me a chance to do this, And then he then ended up running his own business doing this. And now he has a consultancy business doing this. So that's an example.
Thank you so much, sir, for sharing an example. My next question is, for someone who is struggling with feelings not good enough and setting an attainable goals, and what advice would you give to start changing the mindset?
Mm-hmm. Well, the first thing is, as we've beautifully, I love the way the questions are going. We talked about making it conscious. So the first thing is to be aware that you have a not good enough belief running for you. Because once you have it, then what you can do is you can say, well, okay, just take a moment, take a few breaths, come back to now, and what would intuition tell me to do? Not what do I think I should do in order to be good or good enough, which is often means to be good enough for daddy. It's a father thing. That belief often comes from the father. We're seeking our father to validate us. So just being able to say, okay, I don't need my father's attention and love at the moment, because I'm here, I'm a grown up, or whatever, and this is where I am in this moment. That can be hugely powerful. Just that awareness, just that realization. Okay, so I'm starting to do things in order for Dad to believe how good I am. Do I want to do that? Well, no, not in this moment. What I want to do is get help this client take his business forward, or whatever it is. And so we've changed the whole focus. The focus is now on helping the client out rather than that. So often just taking those breaths, just coming back to this moment, because in this moment there is no memories of the past and the things that have led us to believe we are not good enough. There's just this moment, and then from this moment we can choose what we would love to do next.
Yeah, you are right. That's a good answer. Thank you so much, sir, for your answer. My next question is, you have a diverse background, including your working as an accountant and business strategist before becoming a coach. How do these experiences influence your coaching practice?
Thank you. I have to be so on one level it's brilliant. I have all these skills. It's almost like someone going to a repairman with this big box of tools. I have these tools. I can go in and say, oh, let's pull that tool out, or let's use the hammer, or let's use the spanner, or whatever. But what I did learn, and it took a while to learn, is to ask permission of the client to use another tool. Because if the client thinks that we're cutting a branch off a tree, they're looking for the saw, they're not looking for the hammer. So it's like, if you take that example into the coaching, so I now remember to say, please, can I have permission to give you some commercial advice from my years as an accountant? Because otherwise they're expecting me to be holding space for them to have their own awarenesses as a coach, because that's what coaches do. Coaches are really just there to allow people to see things for themselves. We just hold the mirror up so they can see what's reflected back in the mirror. And if someone's expecting that from me, I need to ask their permission to change directions and say, look, I have some advice for you now, because coaching and mentoring are not the same thing, and coaching and accountancy are not the same thing. So, but it is really helpful, because all of my clients are business people, they are entrepreneurs. And so, the fact that I can speak to them about the practicalities of running a business, and the measurement and the accounts and the systems and all the practical things, is helpful at the right time. Not when we're in a coaching session.
All right, sir. Thank you so much, sir, for your answer. So, my next question is, as a Wealth Dynamics practitioner, how do you incorporate this system into your coaching to help clients be in flow and grow their business?
Thank you. Yes, I love Wealth Dynamics. Wealth Dynamics is a personality profiling tool that allows you, or helps you, to be in flow. My mentor, Roger Hamilton, who created it, he talks about playing the best game you can play. It's like, if you were to a soccer analogy, and I don't know if you follow soccer at all, but if you're playing in the goal, let's not have you up front trying to score the goals as a striker. It's like, know what position suits you best, is most natural to you. And when I discovered this model, it was hugely important to me, because this is when I realized that as an accountant, particularly when I was a more junior accountant, the reason it felt so challenging is because I have very little detail and structure in my profile. My profile is all about the big picture strategy and people. I just love people, you know. So, um, however, as I became more senior and became the CFO, my job was to see the big picture, to see the strategy, and to lead the team. So the more senior I became, the more I got into my flow. But I didn't know that at the time until I discovered this model. And it's just a beautiful, powerful model. It helps us understand ourselves. It helps us understand other people so we can communicate better with other people. Um, and this particular model, because there's a lot of models, it goes back to Carl Jung. Carl Jung, many of these models, these personality profiling models come from Carl Jung. But what I love about wealth dynamics is that there's a flow to it, there's a season to it, and Roger has included the ancient Chinese symbols. So the big picture is all about wood. It's the growth and the new beginnings and seedlings. The people is blaze, which is about fire. You know, it's all about the fire and the energy and the buzz of people. And tempo is about, which is the kind of detail, is about, it's very earthy, it's down to earth, it's detail, and it's nurturing. And then the final one is steel, which is the winter. Doesn't have to be cold, but just it's the last season, you know, where we get everything ready for a new beginning, a new spring. So I love this model and the difference it can make for my clients. I've had a lot of people say, "Wow, that was so insightful. It was just great to know, you know, what I do when I'm at my best." So that's why I love that tool.
That's really wonderful, sir. Thank you so much, sir, for your answer. So, as we draw our interview, our conversation, conversation to a close, I want to extend my deepest gratitude to Mr. Stewart for sharing his invaluable insight and experiences with us. Mr. Stewart, your journey and the wisdom you be imparted today not only illuminate the path to connecting with our inner intuition, but also remind us of the power we hold with the shape of destinies. Thank you for inspiring us to look inward and for guiding us towards a more conscious and fulfilling life. To our audience, thank you for joining us this journey of discovering and learning. I hope today's conversation with Mr. Stott has sparked a curiosity within you to explore your own institution and the unconscious patterns that shape your life. Remember, the journey to self awareness fulfillment is ongoing, and each step, no matter how small, is a step towards the life you dream of. From Karachi, Pakistan, this is Nahil Jawali, bidding you farewell until next time. May your path be guided by the light of self-awareness and the courage to embrace your true potential. Thank you so much, sir, for giving me your precious time.
Oh, thank you so much. It's been an absolute joy, and I love that summary you just made there. That's a beautiful summary there of what life is about. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Bye. Have a wonderful day ahead.